Hello, everybody. I'm coming in loud and in stereo. Well, maybe not really. I don't know. But you guys can hear me. I made sure I turned on my microphone. Everything's coming up dork side. Uh, I'm so glad to be back, guys, after a week of being sick and other rough things happening in life. But anyway, I shouldn't forget my traditional intro, so welcome everyone to Brewcraft, a sudsy delve into 5th edition home brewing. I am your host, Thomas, or DorksideVO on the Twitter. If you have never joined us before, this show is one where I sit around and drink theme-appropriate beer, and myself and the people in chat homebrew something for 5th edition. It's pretty simple. Sometimes I get a little tipsy and get a little emotional. Sometimes I don't. All depends. But tonight, we are going to be working on magic items. Specifically, magic items that are inspired by items of myth and legend. Some of those items already exist in the Dungeon Master's Guide. We have things like the Hammer of Bolts, I believe, which is sort of inspired by Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, or Hammer of Thunderbolts, or something to that effect. I can't exactly remember the name of it. But yeah, there's all kinds of stuff in the Dungeon Master's Guide that is inspired by items of myth and legend. Hammer of Thunderbolts, that's it. Also, I'm happy to say that we're trying a new method of streaming. So hopefully, the terrible lag issues that we had in our last roll call episode will not occur anymore. So just keep me posted if you notice any drop frames or anything. Just shoot me a message, and I'll look into it. But for all intents and purposes, it looks like everything should be going well. Hey, Cylon. Good to see you, bud. Anyway, let's get to the beer first before we start working on our creations, I should say. So yeah, we've got here Midas Touch from Dogfish Head Brewing Company, and it's just called an ancient ale. It says, somewhere between wine and mead, our original ancient ale is made with ingredients found in 2,700-year-old drinking vessels in the tomb of King Midas. Ingredients include barley, honey, white muscat grapes, and saffron. Hey, Val! Good to see you. I'm glad that you're feeling better, too. Alright, so let's pop this baby open. We'll get a shot of the label here so that you guys can see. We got some pictures of the ingredients that are actually in the thing. Muscat grapes and barley and honeycomb. So yeah, let's give this a taste. Ooh. That is very good. It's 9% alcohol by volume, too, so it should get me good and tight by the, I don't know if that's an actual phrase or not. I feel like it is. I feel like I've heard it before, but yeah, that's good. That's interesting. I'm trying to remember how much I paid for it at the Total Wine. I think it was like $5 for one bottle. But definitely worth it. I found it at my Total Wine. Local to me. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's everywhere, but yeah, this is really interesting. It's definitely accurate in saying that it's somewhere between wine and mead, and not really an ale. It's Hey, thanks for the follow, Dyson Dishes. Welcome to the crew. Or I should say, we should have a thing, since our theme is like teaching and classes and stuff. Welcome to the class. There we go. Welcome to the class. Yeah, that'll be our thing when we get follows and stuff now. But yeah, this is really good. It's different. Like you definitely get the honey and the saffron are forward, at least for me. Anyway, enough talking about beer, or barley wine, I should say. It's probably closer to a barley wine. Let's get down to brass tacks, shall we? Let me pop open another window real quick here, and we'll look up some items of myth and legend. Feel free to toss out ideas of your own if you have some, of things you'd like to see made into magic items. Let's see. Items of legend. I know there's a Wikipedia page. Here we go. List of mythological objects. That's what I was looking for. Let's make this page a little smaller so I can see chat and everything too. Let's adjust this brightness on my screen. There we go. That's good. All right. So let's see. They have a lot of stuff on this list. Coincidentally, there's a lot of things. We got things like armor of Achilles, created by Hephaestus, said to be impenetrable. The armor of Beowulf. Babre Bayan. It's a Persian Babre Bayan. Is the name of armor that Rostam wore in wars described in the Persian epic Shahnameh. I am not an expert in foreign languages and pronunciation, so I apologize if that is if you are native to what was once Persia and I am butchering something. The armor had a number of preternatural features. It was invulnerable against fire, water, and weapon. A lot of these are probably accurately legendary weapons or items. Let's see. Green armor protects wearer from physical injuries from Arthurian legend. Oh, excuse me. Helm of Awe, also known as the Helm of Terror or Aegishalmir. I'm going to say Aegishalmir. Shalmir. An Icelandic magical stave. A physical... Oh, so it's like a sigil. A physical object called Helm of Terror is referenced as one item Sigurd takes from the dragon Fafnir's hoard after he slays him in Volsunga Saga. Huh. We've got quite the list of things here. Does anybody have any suggestions of things they'd like to see made into magical items? I think there's already a Helm of Terror in D&D. Yeah, I think so too. What about the lion's pelt? Oh, the pelt of the Nemean lion? Okay, yeah, we can do that. Let's I mean, the properties that I'm remembering were that it was invulnerable to uh, physical damage. So let's just look up Nemean Lion real quick. Nemean Lion was a vicious monster in Greek mythology that lived in Nemea. It was eventually killed by Heracles. Ba-ba-ba. Could not be killed with mortal weapons because its golden fur was impervious to attack. Its claws were sharper than mortal swords and could cut through any armor. So I think what we could do is we could do a cloak, Nemean Lion cloak. We could do Nemean Lion gauntlets. Those would be cool. So impervious to mortal weapons. So that would basically be invulnerability to, or great as a pair. Yeah. In fact, we could probably do them kind of similar to the Hammer of Thunderbolts with the Belt of Giant Slaying. I think there's like a special thing that you get when you pair those two together, or maybe that. I think it's those two and another magic item. Forgive me, I don't know the Dungeon Master's Guide by heart, but yeah, we could do something like that. All right, cool. So gauntlets and belt and hammer. Yeah, the gauntlets of what is it, ogre strength or something like that. All right. So let's do this. Let's do. Trying to remember formatting for magic items. Let's do. Cloak. God. Spelling, guys. It's important. Excuse me. Cloak of the Nemean Lion. Alright, let's do coat. Do we want to call it a cloak or a coat? Let's call it the lion's cloak. And we can say, could just call it a pelt. Yeah. Lion's pelt. All right. Let's say born of Shorn. Carved from the Lion of Legend. And we can leave it vague. From a Lion of Legend. A Lion of Legend. This pelt contains magical properties that grant its wearer crafted from the pelt of a celestial lion. This pelt crafted from the Lion of Legend. This pelt contains magical properties that grant its wearer protections from mortal harm. Oh, we should include what this is as well underneath here. So we're actually going to need in italics magic item. Our magic cloak. No, it would be. What do we think this is? A rare magic item? Very rare magic item? It's probably very rare. Because if it's granting invulnerability to bludgeoning, piercing, or slashing damage, that's a big deal. Let's actually there's an armor of invulnerability, isn't there? Page turning ASMR. Very rare or almost legendary. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Let's just take a look here. Armor of invulnerability. Legendary. Okay. You have resistant non-magical damage while you wear this armor. So you can use an action to make yourself immune to non-magical damage for 10 minutes. Till you're no longer wearing the armor. Okay. So here's what we'll say. That sounds very similar to what we want. Yeah. So let's say this. Crafted from a line of legend, this pelt contains magical properties that grant its wearer protections from mortal harm. Oh, and we should include requires attunement, too. That would be important. That would be important. Okay, so cloak, legendary, and then requires attunement. There we go. Crafted from a line of legend, this belt contains magical properties that grant its wearer protections from mortal harm. Well, you are attuned to this item, and the hood is pulled up. You have resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Actually, I'm distinctly remembering that Heracles beat the Nemean lion by using fire. Am I crazy? Let's go further into this. After searching the lion, Heracles fetched some arrows to use against it, not knowing that its golden fur was impenetrable. Discovered the first protected property. Cave had 2 entrances. I bit off one to shot the arrows. Eventually shot it in the unarmored mouth. Oh, so he shot it in the mouth. Never mind. I don't know why I thought he used fire against it. Or maybe that was something from maybe that was something from the original God of War game. Anyway, I was going to say what would be interesting is if We just gave an Hydra was killed with fire. Yeah, I know that. What I was thinking was it would be interesting if that was the case, if he had used fire against the Nemean lion to just give the immunity to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage while attuned to it, but you are also vulnerable to fire. But since that's not the case, that wouldn't make sense. So you have resistance to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. Additionally, you can use an action to grant yourself to become immune to those types of damage. For 10 minutes. Maybe give it a roar ability to spread around the resistance, differentiate from the armor of invulnerability. Yeah, I'm thinking that that's going to be what it gains when you're, so basically each item is going to have its base ability, and then when you're wearing both the gauntlets and the lion's pelt and the pelt, they'll each get an additional feature. So yeah, I think that's a great idea for the cloak's additional feature when you're attuned to both the pelt and the gauntlets. You can use an action to become immune to those types of damage for 10 minutes. Let me look at the wording for the armor of invulnerability again. Or until you are no longer wearing the armor. Once this special action is used, it can be used again until the next dawn. Okay. And then we'll have here in, I think it's bold italics. Protect the pride. And then requires attunement to the lion's gauntlets, lion's claws. As an action, when you grant yourself immunity to non-magical bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage. You can also choose up to 5 other creatures within 30 feet of you to also gain the immunity for the duration, or until you are no longer wearing the armor. Or, sorry, not armor, cloak. There we go. Okay. All right. Next thing. I hope you guys are thinking of some other items we can work on once we finish these. That way we've got some stored up. So Lion's Claws, gauntlets, legendary, requires attunement, all right. Sharper than world swords and cut through any armor. Okay. So what I'm thinking for this is, do we want to just are we thinking we want to give the claws? I mean, obviously they're going to be gauntlets, so they're obviously going to do one thing as claws, and they're going to give you an unarmed strike, the ability to do damage with better damage with an unarmed strike. So let's say yeah. Crafted from the claws of a lion of legend. These gauntlets grant you superior striking ability. While you are attuned, and improve your strike by a die so that it bumps up the standard unarmed to D4, but those races and classes that have claws get a benefit too. maybe. I don't want it to. The thing that scares me about that is then it makes it feel kind of weak for the ones that don't get the unarmed strike die already. I mean, obviously, it would be fun to have a monk that wears lion claw gauntlets, for sure, or it would be flavorful for a tabaxi to have lion claw gauntlets, but I don't know. I just don't. I don't know if. I don't know if that's a little too much to bump it up by a die. Because if you think about it, especially from a see your point, which is thought. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad idea. It again just especially for like a monk. If you're increasing it by a die, are we just adding an additional d4, or are we doubling the die? I mean, I could see it being. You know what? Let's look in the monster manual and see what the damage die for Lion's Claw is. Because maybe it just gives you the ability to do a strike like a Lion's Claw. Like, let's see. Lion. Oh, they only do a d6. But this was a magic lion. So maybe it gives you maybe it's unarmed strikes, but it gives you like great sword type of damage, like 2d6 or like a maul. While you are tuned to these gauntlets, pounce attack. I'm thinking the pounce will come in when again you're attuned to both items. That's a great option for when you're attuned to both items, getting the pounce. While you're attuned to these gauntlets, you gain they count as natural weapons. Additionally, your unarmed strikes deal 2d6 slashing damage deal 2d6 damage, and the damage is slashing instead of bludgeoning. Unarmed. Jesus Christ. Christ, I cannot spell today. Unarmed. UNNARMED. Is that right? No, that can't be right. Yeah, just one N. Unarmed strikes. Made while attuned to these gauntlets. Count as magical for the purposes of resistance and immunity. All right. So I'm thinking maybe the gauntlets aren't legendary. Maybe they're very rare. Because they don't feel quite as powerful as getting immunity to a type of damage. So maybe the gauntlets are very rare. Then we have our maybe just rare. Yeah, even rare. Yeah, I can dig that. Then we have our special thing. Oh, excuse me. What do we want to call that? Subduing strike. Requires attunement to the lion's pelt. And then I need to look at the wording for pounce for the lion. If you move at least 20 feet straight toward a creature and then hit it with an unarmed strike. Why do I keep putting two N's? No, and then hit it with an attack. We'll just say with an attack. It doesn't have to be an unarmed strike. With an attack. On the same turn. The target must succeed on a DC. Let's give it a DC 15. Why not? if it's a rare item, might as well. DC 15 strength saving throw. Or be knocked prone. If the target is prone, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action. There we go. All right, cool. First 2 magic items done. Anybody got any other ideas for things they'd like to see turned into magic items? Oh, excuse me. Otherwise, we may have to mine this very long list of other magic items or mythological items. How about a lucky coin? Yeah, we could do it. We could do a lucky coin. So maybe like a coin from a leprechaun's pot of gold or something. Yeah, I dig it. Let's do it. Leprechaun's lucky copper piece, sort of like you find a penny rhyme, like the find a penny rhyme. Oh, okay. Lucky copper. So this will probably be like a common magic item then. Or maybe an uncommon magic item. Like it gives you, like maybe it just gives you one luck point each day or something like that. Pretty thematic. Yeah. All right. But I don't think it should require attunement. I think it should be sort of like it could be sort of like the thing that they have in I just had the thought of a lucky coin and the find a penny, pick it up, and all day you'll have good luck. Yeah. I think maybe it should be sort of like the dodecahedron in Critical Role, where they have to activate it in order to get that feature. So let's say this magical coin. Actually, we should start out first with our subheader. Coin uncommon. Does that sound right? Actually, it would probably be wondrous item, right? Wondrous item, yeah. So then let's say This coin has been imbued with the good fortune of its previous owners. Ooh. So I have an idea for this one. What if it's good luck for you while you have it, but if you lose, very similar to a lucky penny, if you lose it, then you get some bad luck. As an action, I like it. I like my magic items to have drawbacks. Yeah, me too. Okay, as an action, you can flip the coin. Granting yourself a single use of luck. A single luck point. And then we'll just put C lucky feat page I don't know what page it is in the player's handbook. I'd have to open it back up in my PDF. If anyone has the player's handbook handy, let me know what page the lucky feat is on. For now, just leave it blank. In PHB. The luck point lasts until you take a long rest. Sounds good. 1 day of penalties on random type of dice roll, saves to hit. Yeah, I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm thinking that. Well, we'll see. We'll see what we decide on when we get there. But, yeah, I'm thinking that a penalty for losing it is going to be. Or maybe we even incorporate disadvantage on all saving throws. Yeah, maybe that. I'm thinking maybe we incorporate a mechanic where each day at dawn you roll a d20 and see if the coin is still with you. Maybe that would be cool. And there's like a 25% chance or a 15% chance that the coin has disappeared and you've lost it, type of deal. The luck point lasts until you take a long rest. Sorry, wait. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again. That would be pretty cool. Like, it disappears on a 5 or lower. You could also have it give you 2 points on a 20. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Once you use the coin in this way, you can't use it again until the next dawn. I should include that up here. Until you use it or take a long rest. Once you use the coin in this way, can't use it again until the next dawn. Each day at dawn, roll a d20. On a 5 or lower, do we want to have it be a 25% chance, or maybe it should be like a 2 or lower? I just don't want to. I don't want it to feel like too chintzy. I want people to get good use out of it, but I also want that fear of it disappearing. You know. But if we think 25% chance of it disappearing is a good number, I can go with that. Well, like a 1 goes away on a 1. Lucky is page 167 PHB. Thank you, Val. Page 167 in PHB. Once you use the coin in this way, you can't use it again until the next dawn. Each day at dawn, roll a d20. Yeah, let's say 2 or lower. On a 2 or lower, essentially this coin has a single charge like a wand. Basically, yeah. On a 2 or lower, the coin disappears. Taking your luck with it. You have disadvantage on all saving throws until the next dawn. On a 20, the coin grants you 2 luck points for the day. Actually, no. On a 20, because we still want that action activated luck point. So let's say on a 20, the coin grants you an additional luck point for the day. Yeah, I like that. Sorry, I forgot to scroll down so that everybody could see what I was typing. But yeah, I like that. That's cool. Could have them flip the coin to activate it. Yeah, that's part of the... as an action, you can flip the coin, granting yourself a single luck point. See Lucky Feet, page 167 in PHB. The luck point lasts until you use it or take a long rest. Once you use the coin in this way, you can't use it again until the next dawn. Each day at dawn, roll a d20. On a 2 or lower, the coin disappears, taking your luck with it. You have disadvantage on all saving throws until the next dawn. No worries. You're good. I like to go back through and reread the whole thing together as a cohesive thing anyway. because sometimes it can feel a little disjointed while we're figuring it out. Anyway, we still got 5 minutes till I need to take a break. Let's see if we can find something else to make into a magic item, shall we? Let's see. Swords. I kind of just want to find like random items that aren't necessarily weapons or armor or clothing. Let's see. Relics. Here we go. Nope, that's not what I was looking for. Saints' Bones, go full Catholic. I am not a Catholic, so I can't say that I'm familiar with the other than the way they were used recently in Legends of Tomorrow, where they were used as something of a divination device. How about a magical flute, Pied Piper of Hamelin? Yeah, we could do it. We could. I think there might actually be there's a Saints' Bones item in Curse of Strahd. Oh, there is. See, I never played Curse of Strahd, so I'm not familiar. But Val would know. Val is currently running Curse of Strahd. Yeah, I gotta imagine there's a flute of some kind in here that's Pied Piper-esque. Giant's Spoon. I'm not familiar with any legends about a giant spoon, so please enlighten me. Oh, we've got magical vehicles, magical stones. Just the mental image from the old Mickey Mouse cartoon of them playing around with the giant silverware. In a weird headspace right now, apparently. That's alright, Bop. No worries. Val, I don't know what you said, but it's just stars. Apparently, Twitch didn't like it. Unless you just put stars, in which case... I don't know why nobody in my house knows how to just close a door instead of slamming it. Also, looking through this, yeah, it won't let me post a link, but if you search for Saint Markovia's thigh bone, Saint Markovia's thigh bone, okay, you'll find the Saint bone item. Cool. All right. Uh, you know what? I am going to. How about on a lighter note? A wand, when used, causes random items to come alive for 30 minutes. Oh, like in Fantasia. Yeah, we could do something like that. We'll I'll let you guys think of some more. I'll let you guys think of some more ideas while I take a quick break. And yeah, we'll be right back to discuss some more ideas. And we're back. All right. Let's see. What did we discuss while I was away? Maybe the Kusanagi? What is the Kusanagi? Kusanagi. Oh, it's something from... Or, no, it is something that has appeared in Naruto, but is a legendary Japanese sword and one of 3 imperial regalia of Japan. It was originally called Ame no Murakumo no Tsurugi. All right. It was originally known as the as the Heavenly Sword of Gathering Clouds, but its name was later changed to the more popular Grass Cutting Sword. Is this the sword? Is this like the sword in Legend of Zelda? Womp womp womp. That was a joke because you cut grass with the sword in Legend of Zelda. Well, the original one, anyway. I guess all of them. But that was like my favorite pastime, standing in the middle of a big patch of grass. Read further. Okay. The history of the Kusanagi no Tsurugi extends into legend. According to Kojiki, the god Susanoo? I don't know. I don't speak Japanese, so again, I apologize if I'm butchering things. I'm doing my best to pronounce it. Encountered a grieving family of Kunitsukame, gods of the land, headed by Ashinazuki Susanoo. Okay. Susanoo. In Izumo province. When Susanoo inquired Ashinazuki of Ashinazuki, he told him that his family was being ravaged by the fearsome Yamada no Orochi, an 8-headed serpent of Koshi, who had consumed 7 of the family's 8 daughters, and that the creature was coming for his final daughter, Kushinada Hime. Susanoo investigated the creature, and after an abortive encounter, okay, yeah, that word looked weird for a second. After an abortive encounter, he returned with a plan to defeat it. In return, he asked for Kushinada Hime's hand in marriage, which was agreed, transforming her temporarily into a comb. One interpreter reads this section as using a comb he turns into a master reads as Kushinada Hime. To have her company during the battle, he detailed his plan into steps. He instructed that 8 vats of sake be prepared and put on individual platforms positioned behind a fence with 8 gates. The monster took the bait and put one of its heads through each gate with this distraction. Susanoo attacked and slew the beast with his sword, Woroshi no Aramasa. He chopped off each head and then proceeded to the tails. In the 4th tail, he discovered a great sword inside the body of the serpent called Ame no Murakama no Tsurugi. He presented the sword to the goddess Amaterasu to settle an old grievance. Generations later, during the reign of the 12th emperor, Keiko, Ame no Murakama no Tsurugi was given to the great warrior Namada Takeru as part of a pair of gifts given by his aunt, Yamada Hime no Mikoto. Is this just an excuse to get me to read it? You're actually doing pretty good with the names. I was like, is this just an excuse to get me to read a bunch of Japanese words? Um, the Shrine Maiden of Ise Shrine. I thought it said Isle for a second. To protect her nephew in times of peril. These gifts came in handy when Yamato was lured onto an open grassland, was lured onto an open grassland during a hunting expedition by a treacherous warlord. The lord had fiery arrows loosed to ignite the grass and trap Yamato Takeru in the field so that he would burn to death. He also killed the warrior's horse to prevent his escape. Desperately, Yamato Takeru used the Ame no Murakamo no Tsurugi to cut back the grass and remove fuel from the fire. But in doing so, he discovered that the sword enabled him to control the wind and cause it to move in the direction of his swing. Taking advantage of this magic, Yamato Takeru used his other gift, Fire Strikers, to enlarge the fire in the direction of the Lord and his men, and he used the winds controlled by the sword to sweep the blaze toward them. In triumph, Yamato Takeru renamed the sword Kusanagi no Tsurugi, Grasscutter Sword, to commemorate his narrow escape and victory. Eventually, Yamato Takeru married and later fell in battle against a monster after ignoring his wife's advice to take the sword with him. Well, there you go. Don't ignore your wife's advice. If your wife tells you to bring your sword to battle, bring your sword to battle. All right. So he had a lawnmower. Yeah, basically, Mike. Basically, he had a lawnmower. All right, so it sounds like it's a sword that allows gives you some minor control over wind. Am I getting the gist of it? That controls the wind, yeah. Excuse me. Still getting a little getting over my cold just a little bit. All right. Actually, I'm kind of intrigued by the idea of the three imperial regalia of Japan. Yata no Kagami. Literally the mirror of 8 ta, units of measurement for diameter. Said to be housed Nakagami, wisdom or honesty, truth because they merely reflected. Maybe not. All right, so do we want to do this the Kusanagi then? Yeah, the other two are boring. Yeah. I was like, man, that's interesting. That could totally play on the fact that we had earlier the two items that went together, but nah, I'll pass. No Tsurugi. Okay. So it's a sword. I'm going to say it's probably a long sword, or equivalent to a long sword, which would, obviously probably closer to a katana. Oh no, wait! Artist impressions of the unseen imperial regalia. So it actually looks like a double-edged sword. Looks like it could be something similar to like a bastard sword almost. Is there pictures? Yeah, here we go. Yeah, okay. It's actually kind of looks like it could be like a great sword or a claymore almost. All right. So, great sword. Let's say it's rare. Requires attunement. Oh, and I totally forgot about our wand that gives life to things. Let's do that too. Those will probably be the last two things that we do tonight. So let's say wand of animation. And that's wand, common, all right. So our wand of animation will be pretty simple. As an action, you can target as an action. The wand randomly animates one non-magical item turning it into a living creature with the following living creature one non-magical item of size tiny. No, let's say of size small or smaller. The item has the same abilities as an item created by the animate objects spell. Same abilities and traits as an item animated by the animate object spell. And lasts for 1 minute. Once you use this item, it can't be used again until the next dawn. There we go. Simple, no frills. The Wand of Disney? Yeah, basically. Okay. Actually, let's do a page break right here. So we can go back up here. All right. You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this item. Made with this magic weapon. Sword has 3 charges. Let me see real quick. Apologies for the background noise. There's we're getting ready to move and we're doing some maintenance on our house. So I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear it. Allows 1 use of Gust of Wind spell. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Gust of Wind is a 2nd level spell, right? So maybe we give them the cantrip Gust, I think it's called, which it can be very confusing. Xanathar's Guide to Everything. Yeah, Gust. So let's say while they're attuned to it, they get the cantrip, the Gust cantrip, and then maybe even Warding Wind would be a good one. Do we also want it, because it did mention that in the legend that he used his own fire to control wind, taking advantage of magic. He used his fire strikers to enlarge the fire in the direction of the Lord and his men. So he could also use it for. You could also have some fire components to it as well. Let's see. Can enlarge flames and push them away from the wielder. Yeah, so let's say isn't there a spell that can do that too? Enlarge fires and push them away. I mean, the one that I mentioned before, Warding Wind, kind of creates a whirlwind around you, and it can extinguish fires around you. I know that. Deafens you and other creatures in its area. Extinguishes unprotected flames in its area that are torch-sized or smaller. Hedges out vapor, gas, and fog that can be dispersed by strong wind. The area is difficult terrain. Range attack rolls. No, maybe not. Maybe not Warding Wind. Alright, let's see. While you are attuned to this sword, you know the Gust spell. The Gust cantrip. Additionally, You have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects that deal fire damage. The sword has 3 charges. You can choose to expend a number of charges to cast the following spells. And then we just need to figure out what spells. Warding Wind could work. Gust of Wind could work. Let's see, spells. Pardon me. Wind Wall could work. I don't think there's any first level spells that are like wind centric. I guess Thunder Wave if you wanted to get technical, but that's not really wind. Actually, let's... It just dawns on me, you look like a floating head on screen. Yeah, I know, I do. It's because of my black background. Once we move and I have a room that I can do this in, I won't need the black sheet, but I'm protecting you guys from having to look at the washer and dryer and water heater. Okay, so here we go. In folklore, the sword represents the virtue of valor. So what if we include heroism in the list of spells that you can cast? That sounds like a good idea. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. Heroism. One charge. Gust of Wind. Two charges. Wind Wall. 3 charges. And actually, let's increase the number to 5 charges. That way they can do that. sword regains 1d6 minus 1 charges each day at dawn. Anything else that we can think of that makes sense? You gain a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic weapon. While you are attuned to this sword, you know the Gust cantrip. Additionally, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects that deal fire damage. Oh, I need to include DCs. And spell attack bonus. Plus let's say spell attack. Actually, I don't think you need spell attack for any of those. Just DC. DC. Save DC. Would you like to make it resistance against fire effects? It reads weird. You have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects that deal fire damage. Maybe. I don't know. Does it read weird? I could just be reading it weird. While you are attuned to this sword, you know the Gust cantrip. Additionally, you have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects that deal fire damage. Seems fine to you, Waffles? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's weird. It seems pretty straightforward. You have advantage on saving throws against spells and magical effects that deal fire damage. So if you're making a save against something that's dealing fire damage, you have advantage. Might just be you. It's alright. Save DC. Let's call it a 15. Sword regains 1d6 minus 1 charges each day at dawn. And then yeah, I think that's it. We still got 15 more minutes if we want to do another item. I'd be down to working on another item. Make sure I save this though, so that way it will autosave. Here we go. Here's an interesting one. Dropnir. In Norse mythology, Dropnir, or the Dripper, is a gold ring possessed by the god Odin, with the ability to multiply itself. Every 9th night, 8 new rings drip from Dropnir, each one of the same size and weight as the original. Dropnir was forged by the dwarven brothers Broker and Eitri. Broker and Eitri made this ring as one of a set of 3 gifts, which included Mjolnir and Golenbursti. They made these gifts in accordance with a wager Loki made, saying that Broker and Eitri could not make better gifts than the 3 made by the sons of Ivaldi. In the end, Mjolnir, Thor's hammer, won the contest for Broker and Eitri. Loki used a loophole to get out of the wager for his head. Loki's head only, but he argued that to remove his head, they would have to injure his neck, which was not in the bargain. Wow, Loki. And Broker punished him by sealing his lips shut with wire. So that could be something interesting. Maybe we... Squall greater than Mjolnir. Oh, Mike, you missed your mall, don't you? I'm sorry, bud. Maybe not. I don't know. Does anybody have any other ideas for magic items? Otherwise, I might just end a little early tonight. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be. It doesn't even have to be something related to items of legend. Just throw me an idea for a magic item that you have, and we'll work on it. Yeah, because I'm not... Ash's chainsaw! Oh, God. Evil Dead. Or a similar weapon attached to a stump. I mean, we could do the M16 from the Grindhouse movie that what's her face's character puts on her leg with the grenade launcher attached to it. No, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. We could maybe, but no. Or the gauntlet Ash makes in Army of Darkness. Yeah. An instrument for a Drow College of Swords Bard swashbuckler rogue for reasons. Is that your not so subtle way of asking me to make a magic item for your character? I don't know. Nothing's really speaking to me right now. You know what? rather than try and force it, I think we're just going to end here tonight. I think that the things we did come up with are very cool. I love the lion's pelt and lion's claws and how they work together. I love the copper coin. The wand of animation is a very fun, cute little common item that to include in things. And I learned something with the Kusanagi no Tsurugi. So I'm feeling good. We'll do more magic items in the future. But now comes the end of episode spiel. For those of you who haven't joined us before, you can follow us here on Twitter. Let me do the commands. Twitter. And you can find us on YouTube. Here. You can also join our Discord. Keep up on current events, things that are up and coming down the pipeline, future shows. You can find all the links to all of the stuff that I make on this show in that Discord as well. Additionally, we do still have our 50 days to 50 subs going on. If we can reach 50 subs by February 13th, we will raffle off a copy of Art and Arcana, a Dungeons & Dragons art and history book. We are currently at 3 subscribers. So, we might get there. But even if we don't, for every 5 subscribers we get, we will raffle off a set of Kraken dice. So, just some incentive out there for you guys who might be on the fence to subscribe. We've also got our very cool Cornelius emote that recently got approved. Cornelius is an NPC in our long-running, well, not long-running, but our persistent campaign that we play every other Sunday here on this channel. So he's a wizard that gets a lot of corn nicknames, so we made a corn wizard. It's a fun joke. You should like it. I don't think I have any other things. Don't forget to tune in with us this Sunday for our next episode of our persistent campaign, the roll call main storyline. As of yet, no subtitle. We are expecting to have a special guest join us to play, so tune in for that. And then on the 27th, we will have the long-anticipated Session 0 of Under Mountain Madness, our Dungeon of the Mad Mage run. That should be super fun. There's going to be a lot of audience participation available. You can cheer bits to screw with the players, if you're so inclined. I welcome it. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything that I've got. As always, may all your brews be crafty.